Welcome, dear traveler of the night. You have found your way here, perhaps seeking rest, perhaps searching for answers, or maybe only looking for a quiet voice to accompany you into sleep. Whatever brought you, I invite you now to set aside the weight of the day. Allow your shoulders to relax, your breath to grow slower, and your thoughts to wander as freely as starlight scattered across the sky. Tonight, we begin a journey together. A journey that does not require you to move a single step, but will carry your imagination across the silent oceans of space. Our story is not of ordinary things, but of something far more unusual, a visitor that came to us, not from Earth, not from the moon, not even from the far reaches of our own solar system, but from the immeasurable darkness that stretches between the stars. This traveler is known to astronomers as 3IATLAS. It is small compared to the great planets, faint compared to the blazing stars, and yet, its arrival has stirred questions as vast as the universe itself. To speak of 3IATLAS is to speak of mystery, and tonight, as you rest in stillness, I will guide you into that mystery, slowly, gently, like a story whispered by the cosmos itself. Imagine yourself lying beneath the night sky. Above you, countless stars shimmer, some familiar, some nameless. Most of those points of light have burned for millions, even billions of years, steady and unchanging. But every once in a while, among those constant beacons, something new appears. A moving light, faint yet different. Long ago, people would have called it an omen. Today, we call it a discovery. 31ATLAS is one such discovery. Not long ago, astronomers noticed it drifting across the sky, just a speck, barely brighter than the faintest stars visible to the human eye. At first, it seemed ordinary, like any other comet or asteroid we have catalogued in the thousands, but as telescopes followed its motion, the truth emerged. This object was not bound to our sun. Its path was not a circle or an ellipse, the shapes carved by familiar celestial neighbors. No, its path was something far stranger. A line cutting directly through our system, a route that could only have begun far beyond the solar system's edge. Think of the scale of such a journey. Between our sun and the nearest neighboring star lies more than 4 light-years of emptiness, trillions upon trillions of miles. It is a gulf so vast that even beams of light, the fastest travelers in existence, require years to cross it. And yet, across that unimaginable void, this small object has wandered. For millions of years, perhaps longer than human civilization itself has existed, it has been traveling in silence. And only now, by some quiet alignment of fate and mathematics, it passes close enough for us to notice. What is it? That question has haunted astronomers since its discovery. Perhaps on one level it is only a piece of stone and ice, torn from a distant system and cast adrift by gravity's endless games. But perhaps it is more. Perhaps, as some wonder, it is a message in material form, a fragment that carries with it the story of a star we have never seen. A story written in minerals and frozen gases, waiting for curious minds to read it. Or perhaps it is not even a fragment, but a messenger in its own right, a deliberate traveler placed upon a course across the galaxy. These are big questions, too big for easy answers. But that is part of the beauty of nights like this one. When you allow yourself to breathe slowly, when you let the tension of your thoughts unravel, you realize that mystery itself can be a kind of comfort. We do not need to know every truth at once. We only need to listen and to wonder. So tonight, as you listen, let yourself be carried by the rhythm of this story. Let my voice become the steady background to your thoughts, like a tide carrying you gently away from the shore of the waking world. You may drift in and out, sometimes catching the details, sometimes floating in half-dreams. That is exactly as it should be. 31ATLAS is the third interstellar object ever discovered by humanity. Before it came to others, Oumuamua in 2017, and Borisov in 2019. Each of them arrived without warning. Each of them stayed only briefly, and each vanished again into the dark. It is as if the universe occasionally whispers to us through these fleeting visitors, reminding us that we are not alone in the vastness, even if we never hear the full message. There is something almost poetic about that. For most of history, humans looked at the night sky and wondered if anything lay beyond it. Today, we know the stars are suns, and many of those suns carry planets. And yet, those worlds remain impossibly far, unreachable for now. Still, through 3I, Atlas and others like it, we glimpse the reality that matter, fragments, wanderers, travelers, can indeed cross the gulf. Perhaps one day so will we, but for now, let us simply rest in the wonder of it. Imagine this lonely traveler, cold and silent, drifting for countless ages before finding its way to our skies. Imagine how small we must appear to it, just another star among many, another system in its endless path. And imagine, too, how rare and precious it is that we noticed it at all. So, dear traveler of the night, allow yourself to drift alongside 3I Atlas. In your mind's eye, see it moving slowly past the orbits of the outer planets, a dark silhouette against the backdrop of stars. Hear nothing but the silence of space, a silence deeper than any found on Earth. And as we follow its path together, let your breath grow softer, your body heavier, your thoughts lighter. This is only the beginning of our story, a doorway into the unknown. Tonight, we will open that doorway and step gently inside, guided not by urgency but by curiosity, and by the peace that comes when you let go and float with the mystery. Welcome to the journey. In the closing months of 2024, while much of the world was preoccupied with its own noise and movement, a team of astronomers noticed something faint and easily overlooked. Through the sensitive lenses of the Atlas survey, a network of telescopes designed to scan the skies for near-Earth objects, a small glimmer of light traced its way against the backdrop of stars. At first there was nothing to suggest it was unusual. The universe is filled with drifting rocks, icy comets, and tumbling fragments that orbit the sun. Every night, these telescopes record thousands of such objects, but there was something about this one. Its motion did not quite match the behavior of an ordinary comet. Its orbit did not bend gently around the sun like the countless asteroids we know so well. Instead, its trajectory told another story, one that reached far beyond the limits of our familiar solar system. As the calculations became clearer, astronomers realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. This was not a local body, not a fragment born of our sun's domain. This was a traveler from the great gulf between the stars, and so it was given a name, 3IATLAS, the third interstellar object ever discovered. The name itself carries meaning. The number 3 refers to its place in history. The I stands for interstellar, a marker that this object does not belong to our solar system. And Atlas honors the telescope survey that first detected it. Simple, almost clinical, and yet behind this name hides a story of mystery and scale almost beyond imagination. To understand why this is so remarkable, we must recall its predecessors. The first interstellar object we ever observed was Oumuamua, discovered in October of 2017. Oumuamua appeared as a slender, elongated body moving faster than any asteroid we had seen, its path a clear sign it came from outside. Some imagined it as a fragment of rock, others wondered if it could be something far more, an alien probe, perhaps, or a fragment of a shattered world. Its brightness fluctuated strangely, as though it were tumbling in a way no ordinary rock should. To this day, Oumuamua remains a puzzle, a silent visitor that came and went before we could fully understand it. Then came the second. In 2019, Borisov, unlike Oumuamua, Borisov revealed a bright, unmistakable cometary tail, spraying dust and gas as it was warmed by the sun. It looked more familiar, more like the comets we already knew, though its presence confirmed a deeper truth. Interstellar objects were not rare accidents, but real wanderers, moving from system to system, crossing gulfs of unimaginable distance. And now, the third, 3IATLAS. But unlike Borisov, it did not display the grand tale of ice and dust. Unlike Oumuamua, its brightness did not tell a clear story. Instead, it presented us with contradictions. Some observations suggested it was breaking apart, fragile and fractured. Others hinted at surfaces rough and irregular, reflecting light in ways difficult to predict. Even its speed in orbit puzzled astronomers. It moved with the telltale signature of an interstellar origin, a hyperbolic trajectory, cutting across the plane of our solar system and bound to no star. But its details defied neat categorization. Was it a comet, an asteroid, or something that blurred the line between both? To imagine this object properly, picture the solar system as a vast, flat plane. Upon this plane, planets circle the sun like children around a fire, each moving in its own steady rhythm. The comets and asteroids are part of this dance, weaving in and out, bound always by the sun's gravity. And then, from far away, imagine a stranger stepping onto the plane, moving not in circles but in a straight line, passing through only once before continuing on. That is what 3IATLAS is, a stranger, a traveler who will not remain. It is easy to forget how rare such discoveries are. The sky above is vast, and the objects we can see are countless. Yet to find a true interstellar visitor is like spotting a single drifting leaf in the middle of an ocean. Oumuamua, Borisov, and now 3IATLAS. Only 3 such visitors have been recognized in the whole history of astronomy, and in each case, they stayed only for a brief moment, perhaps a few weeks or months, before vanishing again into the black. What fascinates astronomers most is not only their rarity, but their potential. Each interstellar object is a messenger, carrying within it material that was born in another system. Its minerals, its ices, its very composition are shaped by the birth of a star that is not our own. To study it, even briefly, is to hold in our hands a fragment of another world, another beginning. It is a way of touching the story of the galaxy itself. And yet, with 3IATLAS, that chance slips through our fingers almost as soon as it is noticed. Its faintness, its fragility, and its distance make it difficult to observe. By the time telescopes track it properly, it is already fading, already moving farther away. It seems almost as though these visitors are meant to remain mysterious, revealing just enough to stir our curiosity before slipping back into silence. But there is also something deeply comforting in that mystery. To know that our solar system is not an isolated island, but part of a greater web of movement, is to feel connected to the galaxy in a new way. Somewhere around a distant star, there may be other astronomers, other dreamers, watching their own skies. Perhaps once in a great while, they too notice a faint glimmer, a rock, a fragment, a piece of matter that once belonged to our sun, now drifting toward them. Just as we wonder about 3IATLAs, they may one day wonder about us. So let us return to our story. Imagine yourself once again beneath the stars. Somewhere above, invisible to the naked eye, 3I Atlas glides silently through the dark. It does not stop, it does not speak, it does not even shine on its own, but only reflects the light of the sun as it passes by. And yet, in its silence it carries 1,000 possibilities. As you listen, allow that thought to linger. The universe is full of mysteries, and some of them will never be solved. But perhaps they are not meant to be solved. Perhaps they are meant to be reminders that beyond the noise of human life, beyond the boundaries of Earth, beyond even the reach of the sun, there is a greater journey taking place. A journey that includes us, whether we notice it or not. 318TLAS is here only briefly. Soon it will be gone, continuing on its endless voyage. But while it passes, we have the chance to pause, to wonder, and to let our imaginations follow it into the deep. That is the gift of moments like this one. A chance to drift beyond ourselves, to feel the scale of the cosmos, and to rest in the quiet knowledge that we are part of something vast and mysterious. So, close your eyes, breathe slowly, and picture it. A faint traveler, older than history, moving silently through our skies. This is 3I Atlas, and tonight, it is our guide into the unknown. When scientists first began to trace the path of 3IATLAs, the data seemed at once both clear and confusing. Clear, because the numbers revealed without question that it was not born of our sun's family. Its orbit was hyperbolic, a shape that cuts across the solar system rather than looping around it. Only something arriving from interstellar space could carry such a signature. But confusing, because beyond that one fact, very little made sense. In astronomy, most discoveries fall neatly into categories. A comet will shine with a glowing tail as sunlight warms its frozen heart. An asteroid will appear as a rocky, steady point, reflecting light in predictable ways. Planets and moons are brighter, more obvious, and well known. The 3I Atlas seemed unwilling to fit itself into any single box. Some observers noticed it behaving like a comet. Its brightness shifted slightly, as though fragments of ice or dust might be escaping into space. Yet no great tail followed it, no sweeping plume as with the comets we know. Others argued it looked more like an asteroid, dark, solid, rocky. But then its light curve, the pattern of brightness as it rotated, refused to stay consistent. It brightened, dimmed, brightened again, in ways that made little sense. Was it tumbling? Was it fractured? Or did it hold a surface unlike anything we have yet studied? These uncertainties deepened the mystery. For if 3I Atlas was a comet, why was it so faint and inconsistent? If it was an asteroid, why did it behave as though something was unstable within it? And if it was neither, what then was it? Astronomers tried to measure its size. Estimates suggested it might be only a few hundred meters across, perhaps no larger than a mountain, perhaps smaller still. In the endless ocean of space, it was tiny. And yet, even tiny objects can carry profound meaning. Its speed told another part of the story. Moving at tens of kilometers per second, 3I Atlas was traveling far too fast ever to be captured by the sun's gravity. It had come in quickly, and soon it would leave, never to return. Like a stone skipping across a pond, it touched our system only once. But what of its origin? That is where the mysteries deepen further. One possibility is that it was ejected long ago from a distant star system. When young stars are born, their surrounding disks of dust and ice fling fragments outward. Most fall inward, shaping planets and moons. But some are hurled outward with great speed, cast into the interstellar dark. Over millions or billions of years, these fragments may wander the galaxy. 3I Atlas could be one such fragment, carrying within it the chemistry of a star we have never seen. If that is true, then within its rocky body lies a record of another system's birth, preserved like a fossil in space. To study it, even faintly, could reveal minerals or ices not found in our own system, a sample from a star across the galaxy. And yet, the tragedy is that 3I Atlas is already leaving us. Its faintness, its distance, and its brief visit mean that our telescopes can capture only fragments of data. We are left with clues, never the full story. Still, some scientists wonder if there is more to it than natural processes. The irregularities in its light, the way it seems fragile, the fact that it appeared so soon after Oumuamua and Borisov, could these be hints of something stranger? Could 3I Atlas be artificial? It is a bold thought, and one most astronomers hesitate to speak aloud. And yet, the question lingers, whispered in quiet conversations. If civilizations exist beyond Earth, if intelligence has risen elsewhere, might they too send travelers across the stars? Perhaps not starships in the way our imaginations dream, but probes, messengers, fragments designed to drift silently, waiting to be found. Oumuamua itself sparked such speculation. Its strange shape, its odd motion, even the possibility of non-gravitational acceleration made some wonder if it was more than a rock. Could Three-Eye Atlas be a companion in that same mystery, another messenger from afar? Or is that only our human imagination, eager to see meaning where there is none? There is no proof. There may never be proof. And yet, in the quiet of the night, the question has a power of its own. For to wonder whether a fragment of stone in the sky might be a creation of another intelligence is to stretch the boundaries of our own minds. It is to admit that the universe is larger than our certainty. But the unknowns do not end there. Some believe Three-Eye Atlas may already be breaking apart, fragile from its long journey. If so, then by the time it leaves our system, it may be nothing more than dust, its fragments scattering invisibly into the void. If true, it would mean that we witnessed its final passage, the last breath of an ancient traveler. Others suggest its brightness is simply the reflection of an oddly shaped body, tumbling as it spins. Without close observation we cannot be sure, so here we stand, caught between knowledge and mystery. We know its path. We know it is not of this solar system. Beyond that we know very little, and perhaps that is enough. For the unknown itself can be as valuable as the answer. Mystery invites us to look up, to imagine, to stretch beyond ourselves. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the solar system from above, the sun glowing at its center, planets circling like dancers in a slow eternal waltz. And then, across that grand stage, picture a faint traveler cutting straight through, swift and silent. That is Three-Eye Atlas, a visitor we did not expect, a presence we barely understand, and a reminder that the universe still holds secrets beyond counting. And now, as your body grows heavier, as the day drifts away, let the unknowns of Three-Eye Atlas become a gentle weight upon your thoughts. We do not need to solve it tonight. We need only to wonder, for in wonder there is peace, and in mystery there is rest. Since the first humans gazed upward into the night, the sky has been a mirror for imagination. The stars, steady and eternal, became patterns, animals, heroes, gods. The planets, wandering slowly, inspired myths of divine messengers and cosmic forces. And the sudden, fleeting visitors, the comets, the meteors, the strange lights, these were taken as signs, omens, messages from powers unseen. To our ancestors, the night sky was not an empty stage of physics and mathematics. It was alive. It spoke in symbols and mysteries. A bright comet could mean the rise of a king, or the fall of one. An eclipse might mark the anger of gods, or the turning of an age. A meteor blazing across the heavens could be a spirit crossing the boundary between worlds. In every culture, across every continent, the unexpected in the sky carried weight far beyond its physical form. And so it is with Three-Eye Atlas. Though we live in an age of telescopes and equations, the ancient impulse remains. When we hear of a traveler from beyond the stars, we cannot help but imagine. We wonder if it is more than stone, more than ice. We wonder if it carries a story, or a warning, or a promise. The scientist may say it is a fragment of debris. The dreamer may whisper that it is a messenger. Both voices are part of the same human inheritance. Let us linger for a while among those old stories. In China, comets were called broom stars, thought to sweep away the old and make way for the new. In Rome, the appearance of a comet was said to herald the death of Julius Caesar, his soul ascending into the sky. Among the Maya, the sudden glow of a star or a comet could signify great change, often linked to cycles of time and destiny. Even in Europe of the Middle Ages, comets were feared as omens of plague or war. It is easy to smile at such beliefs from the vantage of modern science, but they tell us something profound. When faced with mystery, humans fill the silence with story. We cannot bear an unknown without giving it meaning. And Three-Eye Atlas, faint and fleeting though it may be, awakens the same instinct. It is not only an object, it is a canvas on which we paint our hopes and fears. Some may see it as a warning, a reminder of the fragility of our world, a symbol that we are never truly safe in the vastness of space. Others may see it as a promise, proof that the universe is connected, that we are part of a larger journey. And some perhaps imagine it as a deliberate sign, a crafted messenger from minds beyond our own. Think of Oumuamua when it passed in 2017. Its strange shape and unexpected acceleration sparked speculation that it might be artificial. The idea captured headlines not because scientists endorsed it, but because people hungered for it to be true. The possibility of contact, however faint, stirs something deep in us. Three-Eye Atlas arrives in that same atmosphere of longing. Could it be another whisper, another signal in stone? The myths of the past are never far away. When we speak of interstellar visitors, we speak in the language of omens and signs, even if we dress it in scientific terms. The universe is not only a place we measure, it is a place we dream. Let us imagine, for a moment, how our ancestors might have seen Three-Eye Atlas. Imagine a night thousands of years ago, with no cities, no electric lights, only the fire and the stars. A shepherd looks up and notices a faint star where none had been before. Night after night, it drifts across the sky, unfamiliar, unexplained. To that shepherd it might seem like a god passing by, or a spirit wandering. A story would form, told and retold, passed into legend. Now, in our own time, We too notice a faint light drifting across the sky. We have computers, equations, orbital models, and yet, when the numbers are uncertain, when the data is incomplete, we find ourselves doing the same thing, telling stories. We imagine aliens or hidden civilizations or cosmic warnings. We create myths, anew, myths of the modern age. This is not weakness, it is our nature. Myth and science are not enemies, they are companions. Science seeks truth through evidence. Myth seeks meaning through imagination. And in moments like the passing of 3 IATLAs, we need both. Consider the possibility that 3 IATLAs is simply what it appears to be, a fragment of rock, broken long ago from a distant system, wandering by chance into our view. Even then, it is mythic, for in its silence, it tells the story of creation and destruction, of stars forming and planets colliding, of forces far beyond our own. To imagine its journey is to imagine the vast theater of the galaxy itself. But what if it is more? What if, like the myths of comets and omens, it carries a message we cannot yet read? What if its very arrival is a reminder that we are part of a greater story, one we barely comprehend? To entertain such thoughts is not to abandon science, but to embrace wonder. There is also the myth we make of ourselves. When we speak of interstellar objects, we also imagine our own future. If fragments can wander from star to star, then one day, perhaps, so can we. Perhaps one day our ships, our probes, our messages will drift across the galaxy, becoming myths to others, perhaps another world, another intelligence. We'll look up and see a faint light moving strangely across their sky, and they too will wonder. In this way, 3I Atlas is a mirror. It reflects not only sunlight but our own imagination. It shows us the stories we are still telling, the hopes we are still carrying. It reminds us that science and myth are both ways of seeking connection to the universe, to the unknown, and to each other. So tonight, as you rest, let yourself dream with both sides of the human mind. Hear the voice of science, careful and precise, describing orbits and speeds. But also hear the voice of myth, whispering of omens, of travelers, of messages from beyond. Between them lies the truth of who we are, creatures of curiosity, creatures of imagination, creatures who cannot help but wonder. Close your eyes and picture the night sky, not as numbers, but as a living story. Picture 3I Atlas moving silently above, a brush stroke across the canvas of the cosmos. It may be only rock, only ice, only debris. But in your imagination it can be anything, a sign, a promise, a dream. And perhaps that is the greatest gift of all. For when the universe sends us mysteries, it is not only offering puzzles to solve, it is offering stories to tell. Stories that connect us to our past, to our myths, and to the endless future that awaits among the stars. Since the beginning of this story, we have traced the path of a single silent traveler, 3IATLAS. We met it first as a mystery, a faint speck of light crossing our sky. We lingered on its strange nature, its uncertainties, its possible meanings. We listened to science, to numbers and models, and we listened also to myth, to imagination, to the whispers of history. And now, as our journey nears its close, we step back and ask, what does it mean, truly, to follow such a visitor across the darkness of space? To watch an interstellar object pass through our solar system is to glimpse infinity in motion. 3IATLAS is not bound to the sun as we are. It does not orbit year after year, in a steady circle. It comes from elsewhere, from a distance beyond our knowing, and it will leave again, never to return. To witness it is to witness something both fleeting and eternal. It is like seeing a stranger pass through a crowded street, a stranger who carries with them the memory of lands far away, the scent of distant winds. There is a deep humility in this. For much of our history, humanity believed the universe revolved around us, that Earth was the center, the crown jewel, the reason for the stars. And yet visitors like 3IATLAS remind us that the cosmos is vast, indifferent, overflowing with countless stories we may never hear. We are not the center. We are one among many, a single voice in an endless choir. And still, there is also wonder. For though we are small, we are watching. Though we are brief, we are aware. Though we are fragile, we are capable of seeing across the light years, of sensing the presence of a traveler older than our species. What greater miracle could there be than for a creature born on a small world to look outward, to see infinity passing by, and to recognize it? Perhaps this is why 3IATLAS captures our imagination so fully. It is not only about the object itself, but about what it awakens in us. It awakens the yearning to journey, to cross boundaries, to know what lies beyond. It awakens the mythic sense that we are part of something larger. It awakens the scientific drive to measure, to calculate, to uncover truth. In its silent path it touches every part of who we are. Imagine its journey. Long ago, in a star system we may never know, something happened. Perhaps a planet shattered. Perhaps a collision flung debris outward. Perhaps the gravity of a giant star pulled fragments free. Whatever the cause, a piece of matter was cast into interstellar space. For millions of years, perhaps billions, it drifted in darkness. It passed through the void between stars, through regions of emptiness so great we can scarcely imagine. It may have passed close to other suns, felt their warmth for a fleeting moment, then drifted onward again, until now when its path finally intersected ours. For us, it is new. For the universe, it is ancient. For us, it is strange. For the cosmos, it is ordinary. And in this tension lies the beauty. We are giving meaning to something that has no need of meaning. We are writing a story upon a rock that has only ever wandered, and yet perhaps that is the point. Perhaps meaning is our gift, our contribution to the universe. The stars burn, the planets turn, the comets fly. But only we, so far as we know, can look at them and say, this matters. This is part of a story. This is part of us. If so, then the arrival of 3IATLAS is not only an astronomical event, it is a chapter in the human journey. It is part of our awakening to the cosmos. Just as ancient peoples saw comets as omens, we see interstellar objects as signs, not of doom or destiny, but of our place in the galactic web. They remind us that we are connected, that we live in a universe of travelers, that nothing is truly isolated, and perhaps, one day, we will follow. Someday, humanity may become what 3IATLAS is now, a voyager between stars. Someday, our probes or ships may be cast into interstellar space, carrying our questions, our stories, our songs. Perhaps they will pass close to another star, and perhaps, on some distant world, another intelligence will notice. They will look upward, see a faint moving light, and wonder, just as we wonder now. In that moment, the circle will close. We will not only be dreamers of myths, but creators of them. We will become the strangers in another sky, the mystery in another's imagination, and maybe, across the silence of space, our stories will meet. Until then, we wait, we watch, we listen. We send our machines outward, to scan, to measure, to search. But we also send our hearts outward, through imagination, through wonder, science and myth, hand in hand, reaching beyond the known. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, think of yourself as part of this great journey. Close your eyes and picture the stars, countless and shining. Picture 3IATLAS, moving silently, carrying with it the memory of a world you will never see. And picture yourself, here on Earth, small yet aware, fragile yet dreaming. In that dream, you are connected to the traveler, to the stars, to all of history that came before, and to all the future yet to unfold. For this is the true meaning of a journey beyond. It is not only about where the rock came from, or where it will go. It is about us, about the way we rise from the soil of one planet and stretch our minds into the infinite. It is about the way we carry both science and myth, both reason and wonder, as twin lights guiding us through the dark. 3-1 Atlas will pass, and we will remain. But in its passage, it leaves us a gift, the reminder that we, too, are travelers, that our story is not bound to Earth alone, that we belong to the universe, and the universe belongs to our imagination. So let yourself drift now, as the story comes to its close. Let the vastness of space become the vastness of your own dreaming. Let the silence of the stars become the silence of your rest. And know as you sleep that you are part of a journey that began long before you and will continue long after. A journey beyond, without end, across the endless sea of night. When we speak of 3IATLAS, we are not only speaking of an interstellar traveler, we are also, in a way, speaking of ourselves. Every object we observe, every star we map, every mystery we ponder, each one becomes a mirror. The universe reflects us back to ourselves, not through words, but through the quiet realization that in the vast sea of galaxies, there exists at least one small island of life that can look outward and wonder. It is worth pausing here. For if you think about it, the fact that we are even capable of noticing 3I Atlas is extraordinary. A fragment of rock, drifting across unimaginable distances, faint and nearly invisible, was seen by creatures on a fragile blue planet orbiting an ordinary star. We, with our imperfect instruments and our curious minds, plucked it from the darkness and gave it a name that alone speaks volumes about humanity. We are observers, we are storytellers, we are seekers of meaning. And yet, what are we compared to the cosmos? Our planet is but a grain of dust suspended in sunlight. Our lives are brief flickers on a timescale measured in billions of years. Entire civilizations rise and fall in the time it takes a star to pulse once in its slow rhythm. The universe does not need us. The stars would burn, the galaxies would spin, the comets would wander whether or not we were here to notice. But notice we do. And in that noticing, something miraculous happens. The cosmos becomes more than machinery. It becomes experience. It becomes story. It becomes beauty. For without eyes to see, a galaxy is only physics. With eyes with us, it becomes art. Think of how far we have come. Once humanity's vision of the universe was bounded by the horizon. The sky was a dome, the stars' lights embedded within it. The sun rose and set as a daily rhythm, not as the motion of Earth itself. And yet, slowly, painfully, we grew. We discovered that the Earth is round, that it moves around the sun, that the stars are distant suns themselves. We built telescopes, extended our senses, unfolded the spectrum of light. We reached upward, not only with thought but with machines, sending probes and people beyond the atmosphere. Now, we live in an age where we can detect visitors from other star systems. This is not myth, not speculation, not legend, whispered by firelight. It is measurement, observation, confirmation. We are a species that has expanded its awareness beyond its own world. We are no longer bound to Earth in thought, even if our bodies still remain here. That shift is profound. It marks the beginning of our transformation into something more, a cosmic species, yet along with pride comes humility. For the more we discover, the more we realize what we do not know, the more vastness we uncover, the smaller we appear. When Oumuamua passed through, we realized how little we understood about interstellar debris. When 3IATLAS arrived, we recognized again the limits of our instruments, the gaps in our predictions. Each visitor is both a gift of knowledge and a reminder of ignorance. This balance between knowledge and mystery, between significance and smallness, is at the heart of our place in the cosmos. We are not gods. We are not the center. But neither are we nothing. We are something rare, a form of matter that has become aware of itself. A species that asks questions not because it must, but because it can. And what questions we ask? What lies beyond the edge of the universe? How did it all begin? Are we alone? Will we one day reach other stars? These questions are not idle. They shape our culture, our art, our science. They drive us forward, generation after generation. Without them, we would remain confined, stagnant. With them, we grow, even if we never find every answer. When we look at 3i Atlas, we are not only looking outward, we are also looking inward. We see our curiosity, our imagination, our longing for connection. We see the part of ourselves that refuses to accept isolation, that hungers to belong to a larger whole. The rock itself does not care what we think of it, but in pondering it, we reveal who we are. Some might say that humanity is insignificant in the cosmic scale, and in one sense, that is true. But significance is not only about size, it is about perspective. A flower blooming for a single day may seem trivial in the span of centuries, yet in that day it holds beauty and meaning. Humanity may be brief, but within our briefness lies wonder. Within our smallness lies depth. If 3IATLAS teaches us anything, it is this. We are part of the story of the universe. We may be small, but we are not apart. The same laws that guide its orbit guide our own world. The same atoms that compose its body compose ours. We are, in a very real sense, made of the same material, traveling through the same cosmic sea. The difference is that we can reflect upon it. We can give it meaning. We can fold it into myth and science alike. What, then, is humanity's place in the cosmos? Perhaps it is not to rule, nor to dominate, but to witness, to be the eyes and the voice of the universe, awakening to itself. Through us, matter has learned to ask, where did I come from? Where am I going? What does it mean? Perhaps the universe has always been waiting for such questions to be asked. And if that is true, then each discovery, each faint dot of light, like 3IATLAS, is not just an event in astronomy. It is a step in the awakening of the cosmos itself. We are the part of the universe that dreams, that tells stories, that seeks. Without us, the stars are silent. With us, they sing. It is easy to be overwhelmed by the scale of the universe. Billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, trillions of planets, perhaps vast stretches of darkness and silence. Against that, we are tiny. But tiny does not mean meaningless. Tiny can also mean precious. A rare jewel, small but luminous. Imagine again the shepherd of long ago, gazing upward, telling stories of gods and spirits. Imagine the astronomer of today, watching 3i Atlas through a telescope, measuring its arc across the stars. Both are acts of wonder. Both are reflections of humanity's place, not at the center, but always reaching outward. And so, as we reflect on our place in the cosmos, let us not despair at our smallness. Let us instead rejoice in our capacity to see, to know, to imagine. For in that capacity lies our true significance. 3IATLAS will continue on its path, beyond our reach, into the dark. We may never see it again. But its passing has already left a mark, not on the sky, but on us. It has reminded us of our place, fragile, fleeting yet filled with wonder. It has reminded us that we are travelers too, even if we have not yet left our home star. And it has reminded us that every glance into the night sky is also a glance into ourselves. As you rest now, let these reflections settle. Think of yourself not as separate from the stars, but as part of them. The iron in your blood was forged in supernova. The atoms of your body have traveled across billions of years. You are not an outsider in the cosmos. You are the cosmos, aware of itself. And that is humanity's place. Not to dominate, not to despair, but to awaken. To carry the light of curiosity into the dark. To find meaning in the endless. To dream and to journey. Always onward, always beyond. We have traveled far together tonight. From the first whisper of a mysterious visitor among the stars, to the scientific attempts to measure and explain it, to the myths and imagination it awakens, to the reflections it inspires about who we are. 3-1 ATL as a fragment of rock, an interstellar wanderer, has been our guide through the vastness of time, of space, and of thought. And now, as our journey draws to its close, it is time to rest. But before we drift away, let us linger for a moment more with the images and ideas we have gathered. Think of 3i Atlas, silent and ancient, gliding past our sun. It does not pause, it does not look back. It continues onward, as it has for millions of years. And yet, for this brief time, we have crossed paths. Our stories have touched we small creatures on a small world, noticed it, named it, and wove it into our dreams. That is no small thing. That is what makes us human. We have asked questions. What is it made of? Where did it come from? Could it be a messenger? Could it be a warning? We have listened to science, careful and precise, telling us of orbits and probabilities. We have listened also to myth, imaginative and timeless, telling us of omens and signs. We have let our curiosity roam freely, beyond what we know, into what we long for. And in doing so, we have discovered as much about ourselves as about the object itself. For in the end, 3i is both rock and symbol. Rock because it is matter, shaped by forces beyond our reach. A symbol because it carries the weight of our imagination. It is both an ordinary fragment and an extraordinary muse. It is both itself and what we make of it. And so, as you prepare to sleep, let the story of 3i Atlas become a story of rest. Close your eyes, and imagine yourself floating through space, calm and unhurried. The stars are above you, steady and silent. The planets drift in their courses, and somewhere, faint and far, the traveler moves on. You are safe here, in your own orbit, in your own world, yet connected to the vastness around you. Feel the rhythm of your breath, like the rhythm of a planet circling its star. Feel the quiet within you, like the quiet of space. Let go of questions now. Let go of the need to understand. There's time for science, and time for wonder, and now it is time for rest. The universe is vast, and you are part of it. The atoms in your body once burned in stars. The water you drink once traveled with comets. The light you see comes from suns billions of years old. You are not apart from the cosmos. You are the cosmos, in the form of a dreamer, lying here tonight. And like 3i you too are on a journey through life, through time, through the unknown. Sometimes the path is clear, sometimes it is mysterious, but always, always it is yours. And just as the traveler moves without haste, so too can you. There is no need to rush. There is only the unfolding of each moment, the slow drift forward, the gentle embrace of night. Let yourself drift now. Imagine the stars softening, dimming, fading into a gentle glow. Imagine the silence deepening, wrapping you like a blanket. Imagine yourself becoming weightless, carried by currents of sleep, just as 3i Atlas is carried by the gravity of stars. This is the closing of the story, but not the ending. For the story of the universe continues, and you are part of it. Tomorrow, new questions will arise, new discoveries will be made, new myths will be told. But tonight, you can rest in the knowledge that you belong. You are a child of the cosmos. You are both small and infinite. You are both fleeting and eternal. And so, with the whisper of stars above, with the memory of travelers beyond, let us say good night. Let the mysteries remain mysteries for now. Let the vastness be a comfort, not a weight. Let the story carry you gently into dreams. Sleep well, traveler. The universe is wide, and tomorrow it will still be waiting. For now, rest, drift, dream.